I'm here with Joe Hill, who just retired as the chief of...
8 years as chief of police at Horry County. Goes by fast some days. Horry County Police Department, Horry County, South Carolina.
And it's spelled with an H, but it's Horry. The H is silent.
Yes, it is. Very good.
So Joe, tell me about what it was like when you got here, and what did you do to make things different?
So, amazing place to be. Of course, we're right here at the beach, Myrtle Beach. Most people know that instead of Horry County. But what really brought me here was we had some issues with our police department as far as integrity issues. 3 of our officers were under misconduct charges by the state, and they needed some outside help. So I was hired, came down here, and adopted the model from Fairfax County, established some very sound policies and procedures, got the organization accredited, hired the right people, basically put the right people in the right seat on the bus.
Very good. So what would you say the biggest accomplishment of being here, your best thing you think you did?
Holy moly. So I'm going to say something very recently. So we established a crisis intervention training team, and that's 4 clinicians. These are professional psychologists and counselors with the police supervisors to deal with emerging mental health issues in the community. Officers are running back and forth constantly with these repeat offenders, and a lot of it can be attributed back to mental health, substance abuse. So we have a combination of substance abuse counselors, mental health counselors, and harm reduction specialists.
Nice. Let's talk about food a little bit. What are some of your favorite restaurants up and down Myrtle Beach, all the way down to Myrtle's Inlet?
So as you would imagine, that this area is known for its seafood. So let's start off with seafood. So you've got Benjamin Seafood located on 17, what we call Restaurant Row. It's all-you-can-eat buffet. Phenomenal food, quality food, and lots of variety. And good staff and good people there.
That's the original Benjamins?
The original Benjamins.
Captain Benjamins, are they? They're different, right?
It's owned by the same company.
Okay.
It was I guess an amicable divorce, and one half got one and one half got the other. Mr. Bill Howard and his family owns the original Benjamins. Yeah, it's good. It's all good. It's fried seafood. You can get some grilled stuff. You've got other fare like crab legs and roast beef and ham. And moving on up the road, Captain George's, I think, is one of the premier seafood places as far as quality of food, decor. If you go there on the weekends, or actually anytime, there's a line out the door in the parking lot, but they get people through very fast. It's very large. Inside, the wait staff is very efficient, and the food is always good.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
What about other types of restaurants?
So if you want great steaks, we have a restaurant, and I'm gonna back up for a second. So a buddy of mine, Sam, owns a place we own several restaurants. One is Clearwater Oyster, and the other one is Soho. Soho is what most people down here know, and it's sushi, it's steak, it's seafood, it's kind of a little bit of everything. Clearwater has Mexican and the best oysters on the Grand Strand, I believe. Wonderful place. You can get them fried, you can get them Rockefeller, you can get them on the half shell raw, you can get them steamed or scalded. Wonderful people, great wait staff, and it's on the Intercoastal Waterway, so you sit there while you're dining and you can see the boats going up and down the waterway. It's very, very, very nice. I stay away from a lot of the chain restaurants because they're good, but you can get them anywhere. So I like the locals and the mom and pops. The steak houses around here are phenomenal. You've got Bistro 90, which is premier. It's one of the, I think it's 5-star. We've got a Michelin rated restaurant called Sea Blue, to the point where if you go in there for a special occasion, not only did you get good steaks and chops, but you get a mixologist, a real certified mixologist. You can get a martini with botanicals in there, frozen in ice cubes. I mean, it's just a real great special occasion place. It is expensive. I went there with my wife for anniversary. It ran about $220 for the meal. But you know, if you only do that once a year. So as you go up the Grand Strand, and of course Myrtle's Inlet, I think it's the mecca for vacationers here to the Grand Strand. So Myrtle's Inlet, you've got multiple restaurants. You got Drunken Jack's, you've got Dockside, there's probably about 8 restaurants along that strip in Myrtle's Inlet, and then you've got the Marsh Walk. The Marsh Walk is, yeah, it's wonderful. And we have special celebrations down there for Halloween. It's a good time for New Year's, for Christmas. It's just a great place to go, relax, unwind, and do your things. Going back up the Grand Strand, you've got Chop House that's located in Carolina Forest. Now, Carolina Forest is a community in Horry County that's growing by leaps and bounds. It's expanding. When I got here, I think there might have been 25,000 residents. Now we're up to almost 175,000 full-time residents located in the Carolina Forest area. A lot of great restaurants that's coming to Horry County and really centering on Carolina Forest because that's where a lot of the major population is. But as this county continues to grow, we're at over 400,000 full-time residents, about 17 million visitors every year. We've got to accommodate for them. Infrastructure, restaurants, entertainment, the whole bit.
And what about places to live in Horry County? What would you suggest?
So it depends on what you like. If you like the
Safe
beach.
and affordable, but things to do.
So we're going to, affordable is relative. So safe is like where you are now, the Myrtle's Inlet, Garden City area. You're right here. I'm looking, the camera folks can't see or the viewers can't see, but I'm looking at the ocean. And this is a beautiful place to be. You've got a transient population because you got vacationers down here. But if you live here and you like being on the beach and the beach is your thing, then Myrtle's Inlet, Garden City is the place to be. If you want to be near the beach but not on the beach because insurance rates are extremely high, Carolina Forest is a great place to be because it's mainly, the vast majority, if not every single person, is from somewhere else. New York, New Jersey, DC, up and down the East Coast. But it's growing. You've got homes anywhere from 300,000 to 1.4 million. The city of Myrtle Beach has a lot of great housing, but it's expensive. You can live in the Grand Dunes and live on the Intercoastal Waterway, and you're going to pay anywhere from $1.2 to $4 million. But then you get the amenities of living on the beach. Now, if you want to be near the beach, but 45 minutes away, then you go out to Longs, Conway, Loris area, and you've got more rural living. And Loris is way out there, almost on the North Carolina line. So yeah, it's going to take you an hour to get to the beach. However, you're on 3 to 5 acres. Sometimes you can get a farm out there and turn that into an estate, which is, it could be anywhere from 20 to 30. I got a friend of mine that has 56 acres. So he lives in a small house there, but he uses the rest of the land to grow crops, and he has an outdoor shooting range. So Horry County runs the gamut. You've got rural, you've got urban life, and you've got beach life. And what's good about it is you get in the car and you drive less than an hour, and you can have the beauty of all three. So let me talk about the police department for a second. So Horry County is unique, and if you're familiar with Fairfax County, Virginia, and its setup, we're similar. So, and I say we're similar in that we have a county police department. Now, we are the only county police department in the state of South Carolina. All the other law enforcement agencies, either a full-service sheriff's department or a city municipality. So Horry County is very unique in that. We have a sheriff's department that is in charge of jails, courtroom security, and civil process. And the sheriff here, Sheriff Philip Thompson, is probably one of the best men I've ever met. Just a wonderful guy. We work very well with all our surrounding agencies, the city of Myrtle Beach, Surfside, Conway, Briarcliff, Loris, Aner. Just a great group of professionals dedicated to the security of their community. What's unique about us is, one is our relationship. We're very transactional, meaning that we help each other out. We're there for one another. If we have to lean on something for resources, we're there. Recently, this is a week ago, I was actually fishing. I took a day off, go figure. And I'm on the water, and the chief of the state law enforcement division calls me and says, hey, we need help. We had an officer involved shooting. One of our officers was involved. We need an outside agency to assist with the investigation, and I can think of no better than the Horry County Police Department. Well, what makes that so impactful for me is 8 years ago, they were investigating us for misconduct prior to me coming here. Now, 8 years later, they're calling on us for help because we've turned that reputation around. So that was a pivotal moment for me right before I transitioned out. I'm sitting on a boat and I'm fishing and I'm thinking like, we did it, you know, with the help of our agencies around us and our great men and women, we've turned this agency around. So now I can hand that off to the new chief will be installed on Thursday. And
Who will that be?
that's going to be Chris Linhart. He's one of our deputy chiefs now, born and raised in Horry County, ethical, honest, dedicated to the mission, just a solid leader. Oh, one of the reasons I love living here is I'm able to do many things. Now, I'm not a hunter, but there's hunting around here. I am a fisherman, at least I proclaim to be. So we have both saltwater and freshwater. And if you're a fisherman, you know the difference. But to explain that, so freshwater is bass, bluegill, we call it brim, catfishing. Saltwater is redfish, trout, flounder, pompano, shark even. And the fishing is great. So you have the best of both worlds. I'm 10 minutes away from the river or an hour away from the saltwater where I put in. And right now the sea trout are running. They're feeding up, getting ready for winter, along with the redfish. And it's some of the best fishing I've ever encountered. Typical day on the water, inshore. We're not going beyond the breakers or beyond the jetty. Inshore, you're catching anywhere from 4 to 20 redfish. The limit is 5 per person per boat, but you can catch all you want. You just have to release them. And we have what they call a slot range here. So it's got to be between X amount of small size to large size. In between that, you can keep them. So you can't keep them if they're too small. You can't keep them if they're too large, because the larger ones are breeder fish. And you want to keep the population going. So the fishing here is good. The people here in Horry County are just simply wonderful. It's that southern hospitality is alive and well in Horry County. So I'm a catch and release kind of guy. I'll keep some and clean them and put them in the freezer, or I'll give them to somebody who is not a fisherman. I have a young lady who cleans our building. She doesn't make a lot of money. And so if I can do something to help her, I will. And, you know, good fresh fish, she loves that. So I'll call Miss Shirley up and I'll bring her fish and it'll make her day.
Can I clean your building?
Yes, you can actually clean. I'm going fishing tomorrow. If you're here, I'll bring you some.
All right, foodie friends. So that's our buddy, Joe Hill. Wish him well for his retirement. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.